All right, Deyton, look, I guess let's just start with the exhibition Saturday. Obviously, the shooting numbers weren't great. I don't know how often you've gone 1 for 11, but I'll start with you personally, but then a team question. What was it that had you struggling, just shooting wise?
I would say just being kind of anxious just to play. Kind of me along with all the other guys was talking about it. I feel like we were just so hyped up to play. Everybody just wanted to see the ball go in the basket. I would say some of the shots were kind of forced for me personally. Like I said, just trying to see it go in, but I would never shoot like that again in my life. So, over it, watch the film. We'll get better from it and ready for tomorrow.
So watching the film, the next part of what I want to ask is what did you take from that? I thought defensively, I thought you guys looked good. Offensively, I thought you had some open shots. Obviously, the shooting wasn't good. But now that you guys have watched the film, what did you guys see? Was it a good showing or a bad showing?
I would say more good than bad. Just how terrible, but I wouldn't say how terrible we played, but, how horrible we shot the ball. And we still only lost by like 6. Gave up 43 free throw attempts. They was in the bonus early in the second half. So it's more good than bad. Washington State is a pretty decent team, and with numbers like that, usually you lose by like 25. So it's just a learning experience.
And the fouls will be the last one I wanted to ask about. Is you obviously got like 3 in like 3 minutes of playing time in that first half. You picked them up quick. When you watched the film, or maybe even in real time, you knew this. What was it that you were doing that was getting that whistle blowing so quickly?
I don't think I was doing anything. The first couple of fouls I just thought were soft, just to be honest. One was on a drive. It was a physical drive. I was being physical with the offensive player, but I don't think it was a foul. And, a couple came from fighting in the post, but I just feel like you just got to let it be physical on both ends, especially, when you're only blowing the whistle on one side. I think you got to, just be more even out. But, things like that, you just have to see how the refs are calling the game and just make adjustments.
So coming in as one of the more experienced players on this roster, Coach was telling us that he, expects you to be one of the leaders on this team. How much of a leadership role do you feel like falls on yourself, especially, during these exhibition games, trying to get these guys ready?
A lot. Played a lot of college basketball. Being a starting point guard, it is a lot. But it's something I'm ready for. Just preaching my experience and what I've learned through the years to all the younger guys, and, just trying to keep them confident in what's going on. It was just an exhibition game, just needed some film to watch against another team so we could learn and see where we're at.
And then obviously you've played in this building before. You guys had the Howl. You guys had the exhibition game in Washington State. So I'm curious, does tomorrow feel like a big deal for you, like actually getting ready to play in Cherry and Silver in this building?
Most definitely. It feels like the first game of the season. Heard we got like 8,000 people showing up, which speaks a lot of volume about the culture of New Mexico basketball. So excited to get started and can't wait to play tomorrow.
And Deyton, to that point, I mean, you've played in the pit before, but it'll be the first time for kind of everybody else getting the opportunity to play in the pit. Do you think there's some nerves from guys on the team, or do you think they're ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, there's some nerves, most definitely. We have some freshmen that probably never been in that type of environment before, but talent-wise, I think we're fine. Once guys get in the game, feel the flow, and, see a couple of shots go down, I feel like everything's going to be fine.
And then how do you guys approach game planning for exhibition games? Are you guys focusing more on how you guys can get better? Or are you guys kind of watching film from these teams? Like, what goes into the game plan?
Well, the coach has been treating it like it's a normal game. We do normal scout, running through their plays, going through personnel. So we're basically preparing like it's a real game. Season starts in about a week, so it's here.
So you mentioned obviously tomorrow night's going to be a decent crowd, certainly compared to what it was Saturday. Was the environment Saturday in any way, like, I guess, was any of the struggle related to the fact that you guys drove down in a bus? You guys did both of your morning shoot around and your day before shoot around at a different school. It only had about 500 people there. Any of that play into it?
Nah, I feel like that's an excuse. Don't really like to make excuses. we shot the ball terrible, and that's what it was. I don't think it had nothing to do with driving or any of that, because once the season comes, we're gonna have these type of games every other day. No matter if it's 500 people or 8,000 people, we have to be ready regardless. So.
You guys did have probably like 4 times as many people at the Howl even, so that was kind of,
which is crazy.
The shooting results aside, coach always says, you know, he doesn't care if it's a good shot, like he'll live with that, you know, with the result. So the results of the shooting aside, were you guys getting the offense you wanted? Were the shots you guys got on Saturday, you know, first time I got to see, you know, you guys in the game like that. So is what I saw Saturday what you guys wanted to get offensively? Are those the shots you want?
Yeah. I think we shot a lot of threes, but coach seemed fine about it. I don't think we took any bad. We probably took a couple of bad shots. Me personally as well. I felt like I, you know, collapsed the defense a lot. Got a lot of guys on me, but wasn't making the correct reads. Like I said, was just kind of, I just wanted to see the ball go in the hoop. But, you know, after watching film, learning from it, you know, it's always the better pass, better read. So more high quality shots next game.
Curious, can you just speak on the guys that are, you know, the younger guys or the guys that are coming from smaller schools that don't have as much experience as you? Like, just talk about how ready they are to play at this level, like what you've seen out of those guys, like they're ready to compete at this level?
Yeah, I think most definitely. What really surprised me is the talent from our freshmen. Like Coach Olin said in a previous interview, I feel like they're more experienced than normal freshmen in terms of like making reads and, you know, knowing what's a good shot and a bad shot, because, you know, most Division I athletes coming out of high school was the man on the team, and you know it is kind of a ego thing to, you know, tell a young guy like this is a bad shot, this is a good shot, and you know, differentiating the type of reads they need to make. But for the most part, I think they're doing a good job of that. So.
Deyton, one more about the exhibition. You know, there were some good spots for you guys in that game. You guys closed the first half out on a 14-5 run. I think you guys had a 9-2 run kind of towards the midway point of the second half. How do you carry some of those stretches over into this game?
Just relying on our defense, being defense driven. We preach a lot of defense in practice, trying to get 3 stops in a row. You know, the more of those you pile up, the better chance you have of winning the game, along with defensive rebounding. So just worrying about the defensive end of the floor and the shots going to fall. So.
All right, you've been his hype man. So you're more surprised that you missed 10 shots or Jake Hall missed 10 shots?
Jake Hall missed 10 shots. You never shoot like that again either. Promise. I know it.
Thank you, Dave.
Good. Thank y'all.
Thank you.